Welcome back guys to previously asked code Vida questions, and today we are going to solve exchange digits problem. Alright, moving on to the problem description. Given two numbers A and B, find the smallest number greater than B by interchanging the digits of A, and if not possible then print -1. Alright, quite a vague problem description. So let's look at the test cases. First, input format, two numbers A and B separated by space, great. Out format, a single number greater than B, if not possible print -1, and constraints are this, not much high. Sample input 459 500 549. All right, so looking on this test case, so our number was 459. All right, 459, and we have to create a number by interchanging the digits of 459. We have to interchange the digits of 459 and create a number that is just greater than 500. Okay, so if I look at the all possible combinations of 459 459, then I have 549, I have 945, I have 954, and I have 594, right? And I also have 495. So for this number 459, I have all of these possible combinations, right? And I need to find a number that is just greater than 500. Okay, I have to find the smallest number that is greater than 500. So firstly 495 is smaller than 500, so let's you know uh, remove it. Okay, and after that we encounter 549. Somehow the list that I've created here is sorted, right? But if it was not sorted, let's say 549 came here. Okay, then we would have gone out like this. We would have checked 594. Is it greater than 549? Yes, it is. So we'll just store it in some value like a min value. All right, and then we'll check for 945. Is 945 greater than 500? Yes, it is. But is it smaller than min value? No, it is not. So 945 is removed. So after that we'll check for 549, and yes, 549 is just greater than 549 is greater than 500, and it is smaller than 594. So this is our answer. So this is the very brute force approach for this question, but we won't go on for this approach, but we also won't go on for a very optimized approach. Okay, so I'll tell you a very optimized approach for this question, with which you can actually get done with an O time complexity, right? You can actually just make a dictionary, and just calculate the frequency of all the elements that come, right? Like here, suppose uh, I have to create a number greater than 500, right? So I'll just have the frequency of all these numbers, 4, then 5, and then 9, right? And after that, I'll check, I'll iterate through my number 500. Okay, I'll just iterate through this 500 only once, and I'll go for 5. Is there a number that is greater than or equal to 5? Yes, there is. So I'll just put the first value to be 5, and I'll uh, decrease the frequency to 0. And after that, we can just search any element in the key within O1 time complexity. All right, so after that I'll check, is there a number that is greater than 0, the smallest number that is greater than 0? So yes, I have 4. Okay, so I'll just put 4 here. But after that, and I'll mark it, and I'll just decrease it. And after that I'll check, is there a number that is greater than 1? Yes, sorry, that is greater than 0. And yes, we have 9. So this is our answer. But if I use this approach, then many complications will occur, because suppose if the well, this is a pretty simple test case, but suppose the test case was like this. Okay, 5 5 4, and 5 5 5, let's say 5455. Okay, and I have to create a number that is just greater than this, 5553. So I'll just have to keep on checking all those values, so complications can occur a lot. So that's why I am not going to hyper optimize a solution. I'm not going to use this approach. I'll be using a but worry not, I'll be using a very simple approach, and at the same time a very convenient, something that won't give us a time limit exceeded. Okay, so I'll be using a method of permutations, right? I won't be using combinations. Many of us are confused between permutation and combination, so I'll just give you a little hint. Suppose the combinations. What is the difference between permutation and combinations? So, if the order is concerned, then we calculate permutation, and if the order is not concerned, then we calculate combinations. All right. So right now, to us order is everything, so we are going to be calculating permutation, right? Because we need to know which element comes first. Is it 5, is it 4? So right now order to us is everything, so that is why we'll be calculating permutations. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll just calculate permutation of all of these elements. I'll take this 459 and I'll calculate all of its possible permutation, and in a sorted manner, and I'll just go sequentially. I'll check if my element is greater than or smaller than 500, sort of like this, which I actually demonstrated you in the first option. Let me just get it back. All right, so this was what I wrote firstly, right? 59 okay, so this was what I wrote initially: 459, 495, this and this. Okay, so I'll just check on all these elements. If uh, this is greater than this 500, then if 459 is greater than 500, I need to have this in a sorted manner. Okay, but we won't sort all the permutations. We'll do a different thing for that, but I'll just get back to it. All right, so for 459, I'll check, is it greater than 500? No, it's not. Then I'll move on to 495, then I'll move on to 549. Okay, so I am going to use a thing, a Python library, a Python files, which is known as from iter tools. I'll use permutations, which is in already present in iter tools, but there are certain restrictions in iter tools. Firstly, basically what this permutations and iter tools does is it basically creates all the possible permutations possible, right? But it has its own certain restrictions, it has its own certain constraints. Like firstly, it does not take int, float. Why? Because these values are not iterable. It is fine with string, it is fine with list. So either we just turn our input to a string, either I just take 459 to a string, so I won't typecast it into int. I'll just have my input, and I'll get 459, right? And after that, I'll use my permutations. I'll use this permutations method that is provided to me from that is provided to me in Python. Okay, so if I use this, then basically what it does is it will break my 459 in this method. I'm just giving you an insight of how this works. 459, it'll break 459 to this if I just call permutations on 459. Suppose I have called this function, right? So it will break my 459 to this and 459 to a list of individual members, and after that it will just create all the possible permutations of it, like this. Possible permutations will be 495, right? 495, sorry, and 549, and what else? 549 and 594, 594, right? So I'm not just writing all of those. So basically, if I it will take my 459 and it will convert it into this format, and after that give me it will return me basically it will return me the address. I'll actually just show you output of it, but don't worry. It will return me the address to the base of this list. Okay, where will have all of these possible all of these possible permutations. And keep this in mind, then all of these will be in the form of lists. Okay, so it will be sort of like lists of lists. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take all of these elements. Okay, I'll take all of these elements. Firstly, I'll have to check 49495 and I'll have to convert it into string. After converting, it will become like this, and after that I'll have to typecast it into back into int. Okay, I'll have to typecast it, and after that I can easily check if it is greater than 500 or not. But how to make my process even more optimized? Since this is a list, I'll just take my first element 4 and I'll check, is my 4 greater than 5? Sorry, greater than since I have to check it with 500, right? I have to compare it with 500. So I'll instead of going through all of this process of converting int and then checking, I'll just check put a if condition, and this will help me a lot. I'll check if my first element, right now it's 4, is this 4 greater than 5, the first element of 500? No, it's not, right? So let's just move on. We don't even need to bother all these steps. Okay, then I go to 5. So is my 5 greater than greater than or equal to, sorry, greater than or equal to this 5. Yes, it is. 5 is equal to 5, right? And after that, I'll just convert it into string to int, and boom, we have an answer. All right. And after that, no matter how much, how more permutations we have, it doesn't matter to us. Why? Because once I find this, I'll break, and I don't need to do anything else. But you see, one more thing which I need to tell you is that, you see, when I was given an input, it was 459, right? But after that, after calculating all of its permutation, the elements increased to 6, right? So sorry, the number of elements, they became 6. All right. So what I need to do here is, basically, you need to sort, as I already said, mentioned this before, that I need all of these in a sorted manner, right? So that I can just sequentially check them all. But how this permutation works is, it basically takes your first element, and then swaps your other elements. So it will give me the manner in which it gives you your output. It's not random. It gives you in a predefined manner. It gives you output in a manner in which you provide it with your input. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if I give it the input in a sorted manner, it will give me an output in a sorted manner. So before I enter my, before I input my number into the permutations parameter, I'll have to sort it. Why? Because if I sort it, then because once I sort it, then the output that I will get will also be in a sorted manner. Okay. I know it's getting a little bit confused. Just please try to hang on, because we are moving on to the coding part, and after that you'll get a better idea. All right. So this is the test case 2, which I'm saving for the validation part of my code. Okay. So let's just try to code, and it will make it much easier. Okay. So first thing first, let's take our input A and B, right? So I'll just take input, and these are delimited by a space, right? Input dot split, input dot split. Okay. Now, what? Firstly, I'll have to convert it into. If I actually even don't convert it into a string, it doesn't matter. Okay, just give. Uh, I'll I'll just sort my string, right? As I said before, the input that I have to, A basically means 459. The value that we have to, the digits that we have to interchange. Okay, so I'll just sort it before, so that I get my answer in a sorted manner. Okay, so A equals sorted, and after that I'll just find all the permutations. So how do I calculate all my permutations? Let's just store it in a variable perm, and after that, permutations. Okay, and I'll pass A. Actually, let me just give you an idea of what kind of answer I'll get if I just print permutations. Okay, suppose my A was 15, and I just sorted, which is already sorted, and by the way, this should be in string, right? 15, 24. Okay, so if I print my permutations, if I print my perm here, let's see what we get. Okay, I'm just telling you how this permutation works and what it returns me. Okay, okay, names permutation is not defined. Oh, right, I forgot to import it. So how to import it? From iter tools, import permutations. Okay, see, it returns me the address of where the object is. Basically, it's sort of like a list of list, and it returns me it returns me the address, the base address. So how to resolve this? I'll just typecast it into a list, and let's see if it works or not. I'll run my code again. Now it works. Okay, 2 4 and 4 2. But what would have happened if I had given it 4 2 and I had not sorted it? Then I would have gotten 4 2 and 2 4, right? As I said before, the way it presents as the output, it's not random. It just gives the output in the method, in the same way that you provide it with the input. So if I provide it in the sorted manner, then it will give me the answer in a sorted manner. And since the number of digits is less, so the sorted algorithm will take much less time if I do use it before permutations. But if I use it after permutations, the number of elements, it it increases drastically. So That is why I'll just use sorted, right? uh, I was just giving you an example of how these things work. Okay, I no need to print my permutation. I hope you have understood why I did it. Okay, now let's move on. Let's to name it perms. Okay, now for, wait a second, why do I have so much space here? Okay, now let's try to iterate for perm in perms. Okay, now it will so remember when I gave an output of 24, right? Then it gave me 2 4 and 4 2. So basically for perms, in perms will give me 2 4, it will give me a list. Okay, now how do I handle this list? The first thing that I'll do is I'll check if, remember that the condition that I told you before, that we'll check the first element if it is greater than or not. Okay, so if the perm of 0 is less than, what is less than the b of 0, or so if if there is an element of 459 and we have to find an element greater than 500, then we just need to check if the first element is greater or not. If it is not, then let's move on. There's no need to check for further conditions, right? So if perm is greater than, perm 0 is less than b0, then what I do is I just simply continue. Okay, so this is just a base condition which will help me in reducing my time complexity. Okay, so now I'll create a string with the name of num, right? And I'll iterate for p in perm. Okay, for now I'll iterate in this list and I'll make a number. How I'll make a number? Num plus equals to p. Now I have a number, like they were broken in two part, 2 4. Now if I iterate from 2 and 4 and I just add them to a string, I have my 24, right? And now I just need to typecast it back to the back to integer, right? How to do that? Num equals to int of num, and we have a typecasted value. Actually I didn't even need to do that, but no problems. So if num is greater than, because we need to find a number that is greater than b, by the way I have to typecast int also, int b, because I've taken the value in the form of string, right? And I'll just typecast my num here. So if num is greater than b, then I'll break. Okay, since I am not using any sort of function, I'll have to use a counter variable which is initially false. Okay, but if I enter here, I'll just no, sorry. So okay, all right, no problem. It's initially false. If I enter here, I'll just mark it as true, which means yes, we have found our number. And now you got done with this code. You don't need to go further. And after my loop is completed, I'll just check this condition. If flag is true, then what do I print? I print my num. Otherwise, I print what? I print -1, right? So alright, so there should no, okay, so no more error, right? Now let's try to execute our code, and this was a solution. I hope it's really, really simple and it's really, really short, right? I'll just copy this. What was my inputs, right? 459 and 500. Okay, fingers crossed. Let's try to run our code. 459 space 500. 549. Yes, it works. Now let's try for another input. Okay, just give me a second. What was our another input? 645 64577, 5757, right? 5757 and 457765. Let's run our code. 465577, and yes, this is our answer. So we have successfully solved exchange digits question. We didn't use brute force approach and we didn't hyper optimize it, but yes, we came up to a balanced solution and it works for all the conditions. So I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching it, and please do share it. Thank you.